Well, welcome everybody. It's great to see everybody here online and off our different platforms. Today's workshop webinar is my favorite. And really, it's going to give you the greatest value, in fact, more than anything else that we're going to talk about, because this is the most important key ingredient to success, and that is your mindset. Without a successful mindset, you will not be able to succeed. Like that's a given. I think we can all understand that. And us as chiropractors, we certainly understand that. We understand holism. We understand that it's a spirit, mind, body. It goes in that order when we think of holism. That's what's going to guide healing. If somebody has a problem, they come to us, they have back pain or neck pain, but they constantly think that pain equals harm, that they're constantly in a depressed state and anxious state. They think that they're never going to get well. We know that as clinicians that that is going to affect their healing. They're definitely not going to get the same results as somebody who's positive, who's using mindfulness techniques at home, stress management, thinking positively about their treatment. It's a totally different feeling. And that applies to every aspect of our life. And in business, it's so, so important. So, first of all, a little bit about myself. Uh, I'm Dr. Vikas Puri, obviously, and I'm the founder and president of Intelligent Health Group and Clinic Real Intelligence. So, with Clinic Real Intelligence, that's our wing for consulting and coaching. It's something where I want to give back to other clinic owners, other chiropractors in the field, give back what I've learned over the last 24 years of practice, what I've learned through growing my different practices. Obviously, we have a franchise of locations now. We have 7 locations, but none of it would be possible if we didn't have the right mindset or equip our owners with the right skills to be able to accomplish success. And that's what I hope to pass on to you. So, with that in mind, let's start here. It always starts with getting clear. It's called what we call a head cleaning. I know my first mentor, Dr. Linda Silva, talked about this at length. It's what she does best, actually, and that is giving you a head cleaning. And I really appreciate that word now. It makes a lot of sense to me now, more than it did even then. But a head cleaning is where we have a whole bunch of limiting beliefs in our mind. We have our own fears. We actually come in the way of ourselves. So it's really important that we remove those ceilings, we remove those limitations, at least start to look at them, introspect, and look at them for what they are, and remove things that don't serve us. And the best way to do that is to fill the cup, so to speak, with the positivity, with the things that you do want, that you do want to nurture. And that really starts with understanding what your purpose is. We all should have a personal purpose and obviously a professional purpose. And ideally, those personal and professional purposes should meld. For me, it certainly is to leave a legacy where people think that I've helped make people happier and healthier in life. That, I was a good person to people. I've helped touch lives. That's how I want to be remembered, personally and professionally. And once you're clear with that, you have to start writing down the other parts that you want to see, right? What are your other purposes? Whether it's, becoming more accomplished spiritually, in family life, in material wealth, whatever that may be, what are some of the things, your goals, your aspirations, things that you desire? And understand why you want them. If you don't want them strong enough that they become a non-negotiable for you, where it's like a must do, you remove them. You think of things that are non-negotiables in life. I must do this. I must provide for my family in this way, providing X type of experiences or whatever it may be. And why? Why must you do that? And what if you didn't accomplish that? How would that make you feel? What would be the result of that? So if you start seeing that the failure to do those things is large, it amounts to a lot of pain, possibly suffering, And accomplishing it will create a lot of pride, a lot of happiness, joy. And it's enough that really inspires you, makes you happy. Then you know that you're on purpose and your purpose has passion to it. Combining purpose with passion is key because that's what's going to get you up out of bed every day. These are going to be your motivating factors. This is going to be your North Star. It's like, I have my personal mission now. I'm on a mission. And it's enough to pull you out of bed to make you do the work to accomplish these goals. If that passion isn't burning strong enough in your heart and mind and spirit, you're not going to get the same success. This is what's going to give you the wings to fly and soar. Very, very important. And that's something that we really work on the beginning part of our coaching program as a result. Let's get clear. What is our personal purpose? What's our non-negotiables in life? What are we trying to achieve? Why must we do them? And what would happen if we fail to do that? And if we're clear with that and get clear, again, we have the wings to start flying. So that's when we can put pen to paper and we can draft up what is our vision then? What's our vision, for example, for our practice? Again, for us, for me, it's making people happier and healthier, as mentioned. Our mission then becomes how we do that. For me, it's by having multidisciplinary clinics, a franchise model where we can help serve many people in many communities. And we do that by building a sanctuary where people can come and feel safe and be healed by like-minded professionals that are there to give, love, and serve of themselves. That's our mission statement for Intelligent Health Group. And the services that we offer, our core services are chiropractic at the very core for sure. It's definitely in the middle part of our emblem, our logo, as well as the spine. That is the central core. And then supportive services like physiotherapy, acupuncture, massage. This is the other parts of our multidisciplinary approach, leveraged with specialty programming like spinal decompression, laser, neuropathy programs of care, knee decompression programs of care, and so forth. So that becomes our services and products. Now, for yourself, based on what your vision and mission is, you got to see how you want to accomplish your vision. What kind of clinic do you want to have? Based on that, what kind of team members do you want to have? And what kind of products and services do you want to offer to get people to the type of vision you have for your end result, for your patients, for your community? And we go through this exercise together. When we're doing coaching, it's not me having you uh, copy or mimic any of my vision or mission. I'm just using these as examples. We would sit with you, help you introspect, and I would just guide you to develop your own vision, mission, and how and what you're going to offer in the practice. Once we have that clear, we can now set forth on goal setting. Okay. Now that we know why we're doing what we're doing, what our purpose is, and why it's so important for us, and what we're offering, now we can actually go into our goal setting for our clinic. Okay, we know what products we have, we know what services we have, we know what we're trying to do. Now, what is our goals in practice? And for that, you got to create your objectives and key results or key performance indicators. Um, and we reverse engineer our goals through this process. So what does this look like? What do I mean by this? Let's go into a little bit more detail. I'm just going to click on an example of our objectives and key results sheet. So this is what it would look like. Okay, so at the bottom, we would have, first of all, we would sit together and create our 3-year plan and maybe even our 20-year plan. So what do we want to do in year 1, 2, and 3? Where do we want to be 20 years from now? What are our goals? Personal, professional. And then we can start reverse engineering. Okay, so we go through that process. Once we know what we want in year 1, we can go into the months. We can start going, January to December down here. Right now, obviously, today is May 1st, so we'll start with May. And we start looking at what our objectives are. Okay. So when I see objectives and key results, all the Fortune 500 companies use this exercise. It's a fantastic way of making sure that we're tracking in the right direction. So, for example, if we want to, for example, accomplish, say that we want to get to $1 million a year in revenue, okay, from our clinic, what are the things that need to be in place? Well, we got to have our sales processes in place. We have to have our marketing certainly very, very good to bring patients in the door. We need to have a very strong team. Okay. And so we can start working on those things. We can reverse engineer. Right now, we can look at what's the weakest link in our practice right now. If somebody had a gun to our head, what would be the one thing we would need to do today to improve our practice? Where's our weakest point? What do we need to spend the most time on to improve on? You have to start with the weakest muscle, so to speak. When you're starting a rehab program, you start with the weakest part of your operation and say, this is what needs the most work. Or by changing this, I'll make the biggest difference in my practice. If I want to move towards $1 million a year, this is the one thing I have to put in place right now. If I only could put one thing in place, this is what it would be. And we got to think about that and we've got to put it in. So for you, it might be marketing. It might be like, hey, I do no marketing. That would be the quickest way I can start making more money by getting more patients in the door. So you might just put marketing as your objective. And it might be more specific than that, of course. This month, I want 20 new patients. If you want 20 new patients, that would become your objective. Okay. And then your key results would be how you're going to get those 20 patients. Okay. Maybe I'm going to hire an agency to run paid ads. Maybe I'm going to put a road sign out. Maybe I'm going to do a promotion internally to have people refer patients to me. Maybe I'm going to put an ad in the local newspaper. That becomes the ways or the key results that you're going to use to get your 20 new patients. And then you're going to set a due date for yourself. The due dates we always recommend are either 30 days, 60 days, or no more than 90 days away. We start in short spurts of no more than 90 days to sprint towards hitting our objective. And so we have to think, how long do we think it'll take us to get to those 20 patients? Set a due date for yourself. In this case, I have some examples already written into the OKR sheet. One is obviously improving front desk execution. You want your front desk to be strong. We all know as clinicians that we're as strong as our front desk. Our front desk is a big part of our success. If they're running a smooth administration at the front, booking people in, keeping them held accountable to booking back in, keeping them people on the schedule, making sure there is not a large accounts receivable, taking payments, doing the insurance billing and so forth, you're going to have a more successful practice. Things are going to be humming. So how do we improve front desk execution? Well, you would put down things like having special type of trainings for them, maybe workshops for them, in-shift huddles, an accountability system for them, a training process for them where they can actually get trained, a performance review process where you can actually measure, score their performance, give them incentives to improve in the next quarter. So there's various things we can do to incite improved front desk execution. It's very important that we have trackers in place. We have to know our numbers. So that is maybe creating specific type of trackers to track our cash flow, for example, or tracking how many people are leaving without a future appointment. It's very important that we understand our numbers, how many people we're seeing, how many new patients we're bringing in to the office. This is all very, very important for us to make decisions in our practice. So training practitioners, again, similar to training our front staff, what is our process? What's our onboarding process look like? What's our performance reviews look like? What do our incentives look like? What kind of workshops are we holding for our staff for continued improvement and growth? This is all the type of ways that we can accomplish that objective. So hope by now you're getting the point of what it is that we need to do. We need to set clear objectives, what we're trying to accomplish in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. What are our top 3 to 5, no more than 5, things that we want to work on right now that are going to make the biggest difference in our bottom line, in our revenue. And usually they kind of relate to the weakest links in our operation, I would say. You put those in, you put down how you're going to accomplish them. Okay. So that's the process of what it looks like to do goal setting, proper goal setting, and reverse engineering what it is that we're trying to do. Okay, so at the 1 year mark, I want to make $1 million. So I need to start increasing my new patient volume to X amount a month. So in month one, let's increase it by 20 new patients. You set out your goal plan. Okay, and that's how you reverse engineer things. And then in our coaching program, we go at length about doing this together, and we become running partners in mapping and tracking your success toward that goal. Because when we're doing it on our own, we're not held accountable to do what it takes to make sure we stay on course. It's like having a New Year's resolution. Most of those fizzle out very quickly. It's because, again, we don't have the accountability factor there, and we lose motivation quickly. We lose sight of things quickly. But by having a running partner, you stay focused on it. And when you stay focused on something, where attention goes, energy goes, and you're going to manifest things. And so this also segues into manifestation mastery. Very important when we think about mindset. Um, it's hard now to separate the law of attraction from any thoughts around mindset. People know now, it's a commonly known fact that the most successful people out there, they practice forms of mindfulness. They use the law of attraction. They use the law of the attitude of gratitude, a positive mindset to be able to accomplish things they want. You don't know too many millionaires that are miserable, that, are depressed. You definitely think of people that are the high achievers that have a really strong mind and a strong willpower, and they take action, massive action. They're relatively fearless. They're people of faith. Um, they're strong. They're strong leaders, and for a reason. So we talk about this. Okay. So if you're not there yet, the first thing to do is to expedite that process of getting there. The best way of getting there is to do what we call a quantum leap or using quantum entanglement. What that means is start vibrating, resonating at the same frequency of consciousness that your future self has, that future successful self, the person you want to be in that, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan of yours. Who are you at that point? What kind of success do you have? What kind of material success do you have? What does your clinic look like? Put yourself in that space. Imagine it. And as you imagine it, feel it. And when you feel something, your frequency changes. How you're vibrating changes. We know that by looking at, PET scans and seeing what your brain activity is like. It's like what people are doing in meditation. The frontal lobe really starts to turn on. Stress hormones come down, feel good hormones turn up. You start vibrating at a different frequency. And the longer you keep yourself in that spot and then start acting from that spot, knowing with full faith that you are that person, that you've literally brought the future into the now. And Neville Goddard speaks about this a lot. So if you want to look at his work, he explains this very well in all his books. You will attract it. And that is the law of attraction, in fact. The law of attraction really, the successful ingredient of the law of attraction really is the law of resonance. You got to really feel. If you're not feeling, you can't be attracting. You got to resonate. You got to be reverberating at that specific frequency. It's like tuning into a radio station. You have to be at that specific hertz, a frequency to bring in that communication, that information. And same thing here. If you want to bring that feature in and manifest it, you got to start resonating at that frequency. And so the law of attraction talks about that, at a higher level, how to get to that law of resonance, how to start resonating at that frequency. And really, as Rhonda Byrne talks about in The Secret, who made the law of attraction so popular, it is to think it, feel it, and achieve it. If you go farther back from that, you start thinking about What is your philosophy or faith? What do you believe in? And our belief system really guides our thoughts and our patterns, doesn't it? And then what we're thinking changes into what we're feeling. Our thoughts create an emotion, especially if we start thinking about our thoughts. If we brood in our thoughts, that's why if it's a negative thought, we start brooding with it, we get depressed. If it's a positive thought, we start thinking about it, holding it in our mind, we get excited, we get happy. And then when our feelings are in a certain frequency and we're feeling certain things, it's going to make us act in a certain way. Obviously, if we're depressed, we're not going to act very much. We're going to be more sedentary. There'll be a paralysis of analysis. There'll be discouragement. There'll be inactivity. If we're feeling excited, just like if you can imagine excited atoms in a certain product, think of chemistry class. If you think of atoms at a high frequency, they're really reverberating. They're in high amount of activity. Okay. So what the greater joy we're feeling, the greater happiness we're feeling, the greater excitement we're feeling, enthusiasm, we're going to act from a higher level. We're going to put more actions into play. Okay. And that's what, high level athletes do. They use visualization, they intend things, they start imagining themselves winning, and they get excited by that and they go and put that into action, right? Passionate action. And then what's that going to lead to? That will lead to your results. That's how you achieve it. So thinking is something, feeling it and achieving it is really the product of your faith, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and those results. The actions will lead to an equal and opposite reaction, which will create the result. And that result, then, when you see the result, it's going to go full circle. It's going to cement your faith and beliefs because you've seen those things happen. And obviously, when seeing is believing, as they say, so what maybe had felt like, just more pure faith, blind faith in some ways, now that is certainly augmented, strengthened by way of seeing the result. And that cements that faith more, which will breed more positive thoughts, more certainty, even better feelings, consistent feelings, more consistent action, which will lead to even more consistent results. So that's what we talk about in our program, the art of mastering manifestation through this process of the law of attraction that will bring you into a certain level of resonance, a frequency where you are acting from that future self, the self that you want to become, and we start achieving things very quickly. That's the beautiful part of it. And when we're taking massive action, which is really, really important as part of that process, it is really helped and streamlined and made more efficient and effective through our execution plan. Through that process of our OKRs, our objectives and key results we created, we start developing habits of flow, time management. And we do that by scheduling based on that worksheet. So if we said, okay, we want to in month 1 create these type of results, these type of activities to work towards our objective, we start scheduling it into our Google Calendar or whatever calendar you use, and you start scheduling it in. Okay, an hour every Tuesday, I'm going to work on developing the skill. Or an hour every Tuesday, we're going to have a team meeting, a workshop with the front desk to go over one process and procedure, and we're going to train on it. We're going to, okay, every Thursday for 1 hour, I'm going to work on my marketing and my marketing plan. I'm going to go into the community and make some connections, some networking. Whatever it is that were our objectives, the key results of those objectives, the ways that we're going to do those things, based on that timeline, we're going to schedule it into our calendar. Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever it may be. And we're gonna guesstimate how long it'll take us to accomplish those things, how many hours we need to put forth We're going to schedule those things and we're going to block our schedules accordingly. And then we're going to follow our schedule. We're going to become masters of our schedule. Our schedule is going to be our GPS. Now you can start being relaxed in the car. Just follow the GPS, you'll get there. You don't have to think. You don't have to look really for the road signs or anything. Just follow your GPS. This is your roadmap. If your roadmap is there, it's been etched out, you're guaranteed to reach your destination. If you're not following your roadmap, you daydream, you don't look at your GPS, you're going to bypass your destination. You're not going to get there. It'll take you longer to get there. So this requires habit. What I've invariably noticed, and I'm seeing this a lot as I talk to other owners, other practitioners, is that we have the right intentions. We put all these X's and O's together. Maybe we even have the right mindset. But it's just about creating that habit because we're run on habits. We know that. And so this goes back to why our New Year's resolutions don't work. We go back to our old patterns, maybe just plain old hard work, going about our regular day and just going with what's in front of us at the moment, just seeing patients, just doing whatever we're used to doing, working hard at it, hoping, praying that something changes, and things don't change. Our bottom line doesn't change. So if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, even if you're thinking positive, you're not going to get the change. Your actions have to be different and they have to be consistent. It can't just be something you do for a month. It just can't be a diet that you're on for a month. You may lose some weight doing that, but it won't stay off. For a consistent change, you got to become someone different. And that person then is acting in a certain way consistently different than what you are today. And that means creating that habit, the habit of follow through. And so we talk about that. We talk about how to rewire your mind using mindfulness activity, mindfulness exercises, to continue changing your self-image. And that's called psycho-cybernetics, changing like the thermostat to a different temperature. So you start acting consistently in a different way, rewiring your habits. And that's it. That's your keys to a successful mindset. It can seem very simple, like anything, just like a New Year's resolution can seem very simple, like, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds. The statement itself seems simple. You may really, really believe it at that moment. You may really, really want it at that moment, but not having the right roadmap, not having the right mindset that's going to keep you consistent and deliberate in your actions is not going to get you the success. So, as mentioned now, the best way to ensure you're going to get success is by having the right mentorship, the right guidance, the right amount of accountability, having a running partner with you that's going to make sure that you're getting the results that you want and deserve, holding you accountable to making sure you're developing the habits required, the successful habits required to have a successful practice, a successful life, a balanced life, and get you everything that it is that you want personally and professionally. And that's what I'm passionate about now. Obviously, that's why I started Clinic Real Intelligence, the coaching consulting wing, um, because I want to give back. I don't want you to take as long as I have to get to this point of understanding these things, of imbibing these things and acting through these proper ways of thinking and acting. It can be hastened. So I encourage you. This is a QR code. You can take out your phones now. Just scan that. It will take you right to my booking link. I will be happy, more than happy, to jump on a one-on-one 30-minute, completely complimentary chiropractic business coaching session with you. Let's talk about your mindset right now. Let's talk about where you're at in practice. Let's start understanding where your weakest links are in practice. Let's make sure you have an actual purpose that you're working towards, a direction, a goal, and let me give you the best first steps to get you moving in the right direction towards your goals. We can accomplish that in this first 30-minute consultation. So I look forward to that. I look forward to speaking to you about it. Mindset is key. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just like having a personal trainer really changes a game if you really want to see good results in the gym, consistent results, you need somebody to hold you accountable. And that's what chiropractic coaching does. So again, thank you so much for joining tonight. Our next webinar will be in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we have a webinar. And now that our mindset is in the right place, we've done our mind adjustments, it's time for the X's and O's. It's time to look at our standard operating procedures of our practice and try to make sure that we have the right assembly line running and smoothly so that we can get some good end products. We can make sure that our clinic processes are in place that are going to enable us to grease the runway, enable us to get the success that we want in practice. We'll talk about standard operating procedures at our next webinar. Stay tuned for registration links for that. I look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, if you're watching a replay, feel free to put comments in on the post, and we'll be happy, my team will be happy to reach back out to you to make sure that we answer any questions and give you further guidance. Thank you, and here's to success. Good night.